Guarda o space. Tô carregando aqui. Visitar Group Space.
Alone time to think? Alright then, Paimon won't disturb you.
The dance of Sub-Zeros is about to begin. I'm going to go watch it.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead, Dunyarzad? We still have some other stuff to do first.
Okay then. See you later.
Have you figured it out yet, Traveler? Time is ticking away. Awesome! What is it? Paimon wants to know. Oh, wait, no. Let's meet up with Nahida first. You can tell us both together. This time, we're gonna get to the truth.
Para nós, pra dessa vez, encontramos a verdade.
You're back! I've been waiting forever for you two. Judging by the looks on your faces...
Vocês voltaram, eu espero por muito tempo. Pela cara de vocês.
Are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's exam and graduate from the festival?
Você graduar do festival. Pode perguntar pro professora.
Okay, first off, have you discovered the hidden truth?
All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common: a lack of human presence. Those spaces remind me of dreams, like the one I had in the Avidia forest. Except these have no sign of human presence. People in Sumeru don't dream. What a strange phenomenon. The moon, illusions, and lies. What do they all mean? We've already experienced the Sub-Zero's festival many times, and the day of the festival seems... Okay, Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people. We are all in a dream. It isn't that the people of Sumeru don't dream. Rather, the Akasha is taking their dreams from them.
People in Sumeru think they don't dream, but the truth is the Akasha steals their dreams without them knowing it. And those spaces with no human presence are stolen dreams without their host. That would explain why they sounded so weird when she was trying to describe them.
estranho quando ela estava tentando descrever.
So people in Sumeru do dream after all. In fact, we're all in one big dream together right now.
Sonho gigante.
Correct answer.
Resposta
Now,
correta.
how did you conclude that the Akasha is capable of this?
É capaz de fazer isso.
The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate. It is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people.
That doesn't...
It compiles the...
That doesn't...
The Akasha relies on the... It is the manifestation of the God of... And it grants knowledge to the people. The Akasha relies on... You're back! Are you ready to take your Sub-Zero? Okay.
Those spaces remind... People in Sumeru don't... Those spaces remind me of... People in Sumeru... People in Sumeru...
You're back! Are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's exam and graduate from the fest? Okay. First off...
Those spaces remind me of... dreams. We are all in a...
People in Sumeru think they don't dream, and those spaces would... So people in... Correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that the Akasha is capable of this? The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate. The Akasha relies on... It is the manifest... Oh, okay. Those dream-controlling creatures in the forest also get their power from the Dendro Archon, right? That would explain why the Akasha has the ability to control people's dreams, too. But is stealing everyone's dreams really how the Akasha compiles their wisdom? Isn't there anything more to it than that? Dreams are fantastical, complex, and full of imagination. People's brains are the most active when they're dreaming. In other words, dreams are rich bundles of human wisdom. So, in other words, the complete opposite of how Hypatia understood it. Paimon remembers her saying that the sages think dreams are foolish delusions, and the fact that no one dreams is a blessing from greater Lord Rukkhadevata. So it was all a dirty trick?
Então era tudo uma mentira.
The real story is that the sages from the academia are using the Akasha to steal people's dreams for their own use, huh?
Não é? Sim, os não perdendo para aí.
Oh? By the sounds of it, you understand the current situation pretty well. So then, what about the samsara?
Sarah.
My mind feels exhausted, even though I haven't done too much thinking. Grand Sage said, go celebrate. Those faces kept disappearing before my eyes. But as soon as that beep sounded, those dreamscapes kept vanishing. We've already experienced the Sub-Zero's festival many times. The beep is a prompt tone for Akasha operations.
Right. No,
It doesn't sound... We've already experienced the Sub-Zero's festival many times.
Beleza. Beleza, tudo bem.
Those dreamscapes kept vanishing. But as soon as that beep sounded, more new spaces appeared. Grand Sage said...
Correct. The Akasha is keeping each person's brain in a constant dream state, but also separating their consciousness from their own dream.
Mas também separando as suas consciências do seu próprio sonho.
Their disembodied consciousness is placed inside the collective dream of the Sub-Zero's festival along with everyone else's, while their now vacant dreams are harvested by the Akasha.
Onde todos os seus sonhos sem dono agora podem ser colhidos pelo Akasha.
No one is any the wiser as another day passes in the dream, and so begins another samsara cycle.
Sonho is outro dia negro Sara se inicia.
People wake up to yet another dream about the Sub-Zero's festival. The dreams that belong to them are once again harvested by the Akasha, and so it continues.
Novamente colhidos pelo Akasha e assim o ciclo se repete para sempre.
So, this is like a dream factory, and the Akasha is a dream harvesting machine. Did Paimon get that analogy right?
Está correta. Deixa eu ver. Deixa eu ver aqui. 50 minutinhos. 5 horas.
Very good, Paimon. Using analogies well is an excellent habit to get into. Okay, so that beep we keep hearing is actually from our real-life Akasha terminals. Taking off our terminals in this stream doesn't do anything. Alright, last question. Who am I?
They say that alchemical divination is the Dendro Archon's divine revelation. So then, if not...
So you noticed. I thought that one would be the hardest question. That's why I put it last.
I have to be from this point. I'm more attack. Well, it's simply so.
That wasn't hard at all. Even Paimon guessed that. Everything about you is different. We just didn't want to expose you is all. Now that you mention it, Nahida, you've been hinting to us since the very beginning. It's funny, thinking back to when we were asking all over the place for info about Lesser Lord Kusanali. Paimon didn't expect to meet you like this. Yes, those can wait until we're back in real life. On the other hand, I'd be happy to answer any more questions you have about here and now. You asked me this question before. My answer was, it would literally blow your mind. Now that you know this is all a dream, this answer should hopefully make more sense. Have you heard the saying, don't wake a sleepwalker? Likewise, if someone suddenly had told you all this instead of you learning it on your own,
Insomma, pari, come deve a base no personagens. Eu acho que não vai passar.
Your notion of reality and dream would be thrown into irreversible confusion. I couldn't expose you to that kind of risk.
Eu não poderia ter expor a esse tipo de risco. Salve, Biruga. Vai. Que é isso? Tá machucando o fone?
Que?
Tá machucando o fone?
Cara, até que eu vi, mano. Até que eu tô tá todo bugado, peraí.
Beleza.
Foi mastigado.
Olha, eu vou usar o fone e colocar de novo. Tá volta.
Alô?
E aí? Tudo bem? Eu entrei online quase agora.
Tá.
Eu acho que você tava na escola. Aí peguei e enviei a live de Genshin. Daqui a pouco eu termino de abaixar o Fortnite. Coloquei de manhã para abaixar. Brigadeiro, coloquei quase por hora. Antes de iniciar a live de Genshin.
Rogério,
Oi.
você tá bugado?
O som pra mim, o seu áudio tá bugado. Mas você tá machucando o fone. Eu vou tentar para e entrar de novo, esse. E rapaz. Eu aqui Ih, rapaz. Carregando.
That's why I could only give you very subtle hints and some suggestions.
É,
Long
Bruno.
story short, I'm really sorry I had to keep you guessing.
Droga. Ih, rapaz. Depois que você já tá se eu faço. Caraca. Eu só quis que eu ouvi com as falas seu. O ruído ainda tá do microfone. Pois que eu só projeto as questões de maneira sutil de que qualquer forma se demonstra por modernismo escuro por todo esse tempo.
Deceiving the people of Sumeru with no regard for their safety. No matter what they're trying to do, this is unforgivable.
Não importa o que eles estejam planejando, faz isso é imperdoável.
After we end the Sub-Zero's festival of Samsara, we have to look into them. How can the sages of the academia do this behind their archon's back? This is ridiculous!
A sua acordo, eles estão fora de controle.
In the end, I'm just the moon. The real sun is long gone.
Foi há muito tempo.
A sun and a moon? Nahida's talking in riddles again. Oh, we're out of time today.
Está quase acabando.
I'll tell you how to break free of the Samsara tomorrow. See you then.
Amanhã vejo vocês em breve. Beleza.
Good morning, Nahida.
Bom dia,
Wait, now that Paimon remembers everything, should we instead say good morning, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Kusan, não é? Agora é que não tá dizendo.
Alô?
E aí?
Nossa, Gere. Tá com problema no fio, véi. Puta que pariu.
Olha.
Não, você tá com problema no fio do fone. Putz.
Pra mim dava pra assim que o seu house tava sendo machucado sobre o microfone.
É isso que eu tava estranhando, porque eu tava ouvindo isso. Eu não achei que era do putz, velho.
Aí.
Ó.
Só consegui ouvir algumas falas, seu.
É, eu tava ouvindo que tava aqui bugando. Ó, eu vou soltar o bagulho que eu tô segurando do fone e ver se vai continuar o mesmo barulho.
Deixa eu ver. Tá. Pode machucar o fone, pô.
Hey, what's wrong, Nahida? You don't look too good. I'm afraid that what you're thinking right now is correct. Did Dunyarzad already disappear? No way! Are we too late? The real Dunyarzad's consciousness has indeed disappeared. It can no longer endure the constant dream harvesting. Paimon can't believe it. Wait, so what about that other Dunyarzad? Just what is she? Is she also? She's actually something like a puppet, but not completely. The real Dunyarzad's consciousness could no longer keep playing her role in this dream. So another Dunyarzad appeared to replace her in the dream. Just like the grass and the trees, that Dunyarzad is just a building block of the dream that helps to keep it going. But personality-wise, she's nothing like the real Dunyarzad. Puppets are stiff and can't copy the living person's vitality. After all, they're just there as filler. You know, speaking of which, the old Dunyarzad might not have been too different from a puppet. Dunyarzad truly believed that she met you within her consciousness, and it was you who inspired her. So you do remember her after all. Yes. Back then, her family was overly protective of her. No one cared about her personality or thoughts. It was as if she only lived to stall her Elazar.
Ai, tá ferrado o fone mesmo.
Ele tá indo pro Páscoa?
Hã?
Ele tá indo pro Páscoa?
Sabe o que é pior? É o microfone que tá dando BO, não é nem o som.
Isso.
Tá que pariu.
Então o microfone. Ele tá querendo ficar se atacando pro Páscoa. Ô, louco. Ficar de atacante. Ah, é. Bruca. Ninguém era como se era apenas tivesse pedido para atrasar sua eleição.
I just gave her a little wisdom so she could look at life in a new way. So that she could be her own person. But even so, she still...
Ela poderia ser ela mesma, mas ainda assim era existir. Ih! Foi Vasco. Foi jogar como atacante. Cara. Muito para.
Far from it.
No,
I'm still a long way off from being a real Archon.
Para frente para ser uma coisa de verdade. Atacante. Bicha. Yes.
I couldn't even save her. If I were a competent Archon, I wouldn't have let my most faithful follower die at the Sub-Zero's festival with so many regrets. Please don't beat yourself up over it, Nihida. It's the sage's fault, and theirs alone. I'm not beating myself up. All I did was to rationally observe the distance between myself and a real Archon. Don't be like that, Nihida. Even real Archons are still allowed to be sad. To prevent more tragedies like this, we must end the samsara as soon as possible. Great, but how do we do that? Although the Sub-Zero's festival dream is under the Akasha's control, only humans can dream. Even the Akasha is unable to create them. That means this dream belongs to a host who created it. So, how should we find that person? Well, if this is someone's dream, then everything here must come from deep within their consciousness. Which means, with the power of imagination, they can change anything in this dream. Imagination? What do you mean by that? Imagination means breaking through what you perceive as normal. Like when a server at a tavern brings a plate to you, you'd naturally assume that food is on it. However, if you're the dream's host and you become aware that you're dreaming, when you imagine gold and more on the plate, the dream will respond in kind, and the server really will bring you gold and more. But right now, our host is unaware that this is a dream. No matter how many times they're served, it will always be food. Find some way to make that person realize that they're dreaming. Usually, once that happens, the person will wake up and the dream samsara will be broken. How are we going to find them, though? If it could be anyone, it'd be like looking for a needle in a haystack. And even if we did find them, how are we supposed to make them realize they're dreaming? After all, like you said. Don't wake a sleepwalker. It's extremely difficult, yes. But the only ones who can do it are you two. Remember, everything you've achieved up to this point has all been for the sake of finding the host and ending the samsara. As for me, during this time, I'll be out of town. Out of town? Are you going to that place full of dreams where the traveler went? Yes. I want to try something. There must still be a small wisp of possibility. Hurry and go. Dreams are supposed to be fantastical, romantic, and full of pleasant surprises. Unnecessary things like this samsara need to end.
Cheio de surpresas agradadas, pois desnecessários como essa samsara precisa acabar.
I'm still a little upset that we've come this far only for Dunyarzad to...
Não queria parar não, mas... Gravando aqui.
Porra, caralho, cara. Já volto.
Pronto, eu aumentei. Se reclamar, aumenta de novo.
Voltei.
O que é isso? Tá quebrando um prato? Eita!
É, pô.
Eita, está irritada.
Ele não roubou.
Consegue aquecer até aqui, mas pulsar certo. Era uma pessoa tão boa. Eu sou terceiro, era tão assim, mas o destino estava contra ela. Eu me sinto muito desmoralizada agora.
Yeah.
Sim, afinal
Saving
de
Dunyarzad kept us going this whole time.
tô em live agora.
Eu não vou jogar Roblox.
Oi?
Vai jogar Roblox não?
Agora não.
Beleza.
Vamos começar a próxima
Já
live.
voltei.
Beleza?
Hã?
Entendeu que eu disse a live de Genshin?
Aham.
Acho que eu iniciei a live. Onde que eu iniciei a live, eu coloquei o personagem pra baixar de novo. Olha a minha conta do sapão.
Ah, boa.
Tá quase terminando de baixar. Tô brincando.
Eu tenho tempo daqui a pouco, tu quer ver? Vai ter vento, já.
Ah, você testou o Druid da conta que eu falei pra você testar?
Hã?
Lembra pra você testar o Druid da conta? O sapão?
Eu testei tinha colocado o Genshin pra instalar.
O Go Test?
Pô, estava rapidão. O nosso canal tem 500 downloads.
Eu já terminou de baixar ou não?
Hã?
Já terminou de baixar? Já terminou de baixar?
Cortando pelas.
Eu acho que quando criei a conta, eu coloquei colocando no PagCenter do Japão. O shopping. O interesse.
Uhum.
Ah, é.
Tu vai entrar no Roblox?
Agora não.
Hã?
Agora não. Eu vou entrar no Roblox não.
Beleza. Peraí, deixa eu só ver um negócio aqui.
Eu tô tentando aumentar o nível do mundo aqui no jogo.
Uhum.
O Genshin.
Eu tô tentando ganhar uma skin aqui que tem no mapa.
Beleza? É, rapaz. Tá vendo mais aqui, não? Beleza, já descarregou? Ih, rapaz. Afinal de contas, precisamos ter tudo para resgatar o tempo inteiro.
But
Mas
we
não
mustn't
podemos
lose hope,
nos
Traveler.
deixar
Dunyarzad would definitely want to see us save everyone else. So let's break the samsara for her sake.
que nos pensava os outros pessoas vão quebrar essa sala era.
Hyman's wondering, do you think the sages would get one of their own to be the host of the stream? Feels like it would be easier to control it that way, no?
Parece que assim seria mais fácil de controlar, não acho um pouco improvável. Conhecer o plano saberia mais facilmente que estava sonhando, mas se que sonhador inocente percebe para que está sendo.
Huh. That's true. Plus, the sages probably weren't counting on there being other factors beyond their control, like Nahida and us. So, who do you think the host of the dream is? Oh, that would make sense! Fairest, the Night of Flowers, is a symbol of the whole Sub-Zero's festival, right? Pretty core character. Let's go ask him some questions, shall we?
You're back. You left in a hurry last time. Is everything okay?
Everything's fine. Just, it's a little hard to explain. Would you mind taking part in a little experiment with us?
An experiment? That came out of nowhere. I'm listening, though. What do you need me to do?
Could you make a wish?
You want me to make a wish? Is that a new Sub-Zero's festival tradition or something?
Less questions, more wishes!
Okay. My wish. Okay. I'm a little nervous saying this out loud, but I want Miss Dunyarzad to be happy.
Oh.
I noticed earlier that she looked a bit down, and she wasn't really talking to anyone. She just doesn't seem like herself. She's always so gentle and kind, and all the kids love her. I've also wondered if the reason she asked me to be Fairest Knight of Flowers is because I'm special to her, or something.
So, you have a crush on Dunyarzad?
Oh, is it that obvious? After what I just... When she placed the hat of the Knight of Flowers onto my head, she said to me, I want everyone to have a happy Sub-Zero's festival. What she didn't realize was that I'm not that interested in how everyone else feels. In that moment, I just wanted to be her Knight of Flowers for the rest of my life. 50 years, 100 years, I'll serve her till the end of time. Okay, yeah, that was a bit much. Felt like the right moment to get it off my chest, but that was pretty embarrassing. Okay, I'm ready to make my wish. I would like Miss Dunyarzad to appear in front of me right now with a smile on her face. Here goes.
Please come true.
I'm gonna open my eyes. Oh! You're...
What?
Okay.
Fucky? Sorry, but only one portion of Yalda candies per person. Back home you go. Nice try, you two. Anyway, never mind. I don't need to see her appear right in front of me. As long as she's happy.
Guess he isn't the host of this dream after all. Should have expected it wouldn't be this easy. It seems like everyone who knows Dunyarzad loves her. But none of them has any idea that she...
My lady, step back.
That sounds like Dia! Oh, right. This is when Dunyarzad bumps into the kidnappers. Huh? But Dia can handle them. Hey, Traveler!
Oh, it's you. Great timing. Please take... Hey, this is my job. The homie Yanni's pay me, not you. You... fine, alright. Knock yourself out. I'm so worked up anyway. It's not like I don't trust your fighting skills. Anyway, watch yourself.
So you got yourself some backup. Suit yourself. You're going down.
That's close enough. New punching bag.
Solidify.
Try to keep up.
Surrender and will be gentle.
Breath of the flame! Scatter! Propagate!
I'll be back. Gather.
Scatter! Germinate!
I'll...
Traveler, were you just taking your anger out on those guys? You and Nikita both. Dunyarzad wouldn't want to see you two like this. Oh, and Speaking of her, Paimon just remembered something. Remember how during the first Sub-Zero's festival, before the Samsara started, we came here with Dunyarzai because she wanted to pick something up? She said it was because she had forgotten something. Okay, so Paimon's memory is working so far. Anyway, Paimon also remembers that she is staying somewhere around here. She pointed it out to us the night before the Sub-Zero's festival. Yeah, even if it's only a tiny clue, it'll probably still help us more than this needle in a haystack search. This is the place. It's rude to enter other people's spaces without permission, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Hey, the windows are unlocked. Okay. Paimon's gonna take a peek. This was only a temporary residence, so there was pretty much nothing inside except this book on the table. Should we open it?
Uma série de entrevistas que fiz enquanto estava preparando o festival. Sabes, eu entrevistei muitas pessoas, mas elas não sabiam muito sobre a mana pulsada. Ainda assim, espero que isso lhe ajude a Gustavo era fornecimento de água que não já foi contaminado por sangue. Torço a ir muito longe para pegar água, mas dia as pessoas de repente descobriram que a água era potável novamente. E alguns disseram que uma luz verde foi vista pela fonte da água na noite anterior. Todos acreditam que esse foi o fornecimento da loja menos pulsada em uma ação. Isso parece bem possível. A descontaminação da água através de meios naturais foi demorado. Então, normalmente pulsada apareceu na vida quando água. Depois que minha mãe faleceu, eu sempre ficava com medo do escuro e não conseguia dormir, mas depois de inicio eu escutava uma voz conversando comigo até que eu dormisse. Uma moça era falando não custa nada cuidando de mim. Pobre garoto, espero que o pessoal faz mais vezes me dirá algo que possui arte. Ela é uma deusa muito difícil. Houve uma vez que eu bebi mais do que devia e não consegui encontrar meu caminho de volta para casa. Então, quando virei, nunca esqueci que a glória menos custa nada. Ela era alta, tinha braços fortes e me segurou quando eu escorreguei e caí na minha frente. Eu acabei dormindo sob uma árvore. As piores menos o funcionário estava cuidando de mim e não tenho certeza que este mundo parou como referência. Provavelmente era só árvore do aço, mas as lendas populares junto com os comentários referências que pelos anexos deixaram aos páginas cheias de informações.
Wow. Junior-san wrote all of this. Sounds like she was always thinking of us, even while we were away. Even though she was also busy preparing for the Sub-Zero's festival and had all her health problems to worry about. She must have wanted to give this to us as a gift on the day of the Sub-Zero's festival, right? If we hadn't found this book, we never would have known. But now that we know, we can't even think. Hey! Junior's puppet.
Marionete. Eu acho que eu penso se eu isso melhor isso em voz alta. É a marionete. Obrigado.
Traveler. You must be exhausted. Come to think of it, we've been stuck in this place for a really long time. Heck, even the last time we were chatting happily with Junior-san feels like an eternity ago. Paimon still remembers when we were sitting here, and the way her eyes sparkled when she talked about new dance of Sub-Zeros.
There will always be frustrations in life, but I know that the point of living is not to leave behind any regrets.
Traz nenhum área de crescimento, certo?
That was what the real Junior-san said, wasn't
será
it?
que foi a verdadeira? Isso quer dizer que...
Yes, Traveler.
Sim, okay,
What is it?
Oh,
era
so
ainda
she's
só
still
uma
just a
marionete, mas
puppet.
agora há pouco...
But just now, how come...
para trás nenhum área de crescimento.
What? Where are we
Aonde
going
você
this
quer ir
time?
agora? Vamos ver atrás da sua...
If you continue to resist, we will have to order an investigation and the Grand Sage has already granted you much leniency. I advise that you exercise tact. How did things turn out like this? Traveler? You don't have to get involved. He's a sage from the academia. I don't want to drag you into this.
Traveler?
Traveler? What the heck are you doing? You get arrested by the academia, that's another day gone to waste. Wait, they're not reacting. Have they been scared stiff? Oh, of course! If this is the sage's plan, they won't put themselves through this. So they're just substitutes.
What is this?
What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage?
Like I said, they symbolize the goddess of flowers. It's just a shame that all the real Padisaras went extinct after her death.
Yes. The Greater Lord brought forth new Padisaras in memory of the goddess of flowers. But she ultimately could never truly replicate that beautiful shade of purple.
Beautiful shade of purple. Aren't these flowers real Padisaras? Just like the ones from the legend? I didn't even notice. 10 years old. Did you find these? But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the goddess of flowers passed away? So how?
Yeah. What's going on here? Huh?
Eu imagino que o grande sábio e sua convidada com Michiro não estão aqui diante de você.
You guys are acting weird.
But
okay, I'll try. Hey!
Hey! Eles desapareceram, então nossa hospedeira era que surpresa. Eles desapareceram, então a nossa hospedeira era que surpresa.
Purple Padisaras don't exist in the real world anymore. But in Milu's subconscious, they can appear as decorations on the stage.
Tu é consciente da vida. Eles podem aparecer como corações no palco.
It's just like the example Nahida told us. People assume there will be food on a plate, and Milu assumed there would be real Padisaras in the flower pots. So when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew it was Milu?
Então você teve certeza que era Ciro que ontem aquelas duas flores, exatamente.
But if we want to end the samsara, we need the host to become aware that they're dreaming. How should we make Milu realize that?
Am I dreaming?
Eu estou sonhando.
Huh?
Como você chegou nessa condição? Então eu estava certa.
Is this Lesser Lord Kusanali responding to our celebration of the Sub-Zero's festival?
Está respondendo a nossa celebração do festival Sub-Zero.
Wrong guess! but you aren't completely wrong either. The point is, what made you think this is a dream? As far as you know, people in Sumeru don't dream, right?
Yeah, but have you heard the tale of the first sage? To prevent a calamity, he went on a journey to find the Dendro Archon.
Ooh, sounds familiar. Dinyarzad told us a story like that when we first arrived in Sumeru City. So it was about the first sage, huh?
Yep, but in the part you heard, he hadn't become the first sage yet. There's more to the story. His piety and wisdom were acknowledged by the Dendro Archon, and she finally gave her blessing to him. All kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage, as if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated.
Todo conhecimento do mundo se vestido pintado uma matéria bem na frente dele. Ele estava completamente cativado.
After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could comprehend. Afterward, he said to the Dendro Archon, I miss my parents, my wife, and my children. I've been away from home for far too long. They must be worried.
Há muito tempo tenho que certeza que eles estão preocupados comigo.
The Dendro Archon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself lying in his bed, as if he had just woken up from a dream.
Deitado na sua cama como se tivesse acabado de acordar de sonho.
His wife lying next to him said, You're off to search for the Dendro Archon today, aren't you? Have a safe journey, my love. In the end, the first sage took care of many disasters in Sumeru City and founded the Academia. What a happy ending.
So, the first sage was dreaming ever since the beginning of the story? He never went on his journey?
Yes, but his faith and determination were conveyed to the Dendro Archon, so she blessed him in the form of a dream.
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's a really interesting connection. But we really gotta wake up soon, like the sage in the story.
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sub-Zero's festival is almost over too. Since we're in a dream, let's make this final dance of Sub-Zero's as beautiful as we can. Is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the dance of Sub-Zeros. I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilou's dance.
Good morning, traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep for the longest time. Paimon's head feels super heavy. Did we oversleep? Do you even remember going to sleep last night? Paimon thinks it was after the Sub-Zero's festival. The Sub-Zero's festival! Have we finally escaped from the Sub-Zero Samsara? Quick! Take off your Akasha terminal! She's not in her room. What happened? Huh? What usual spot? Well done, Traveler and Paimon. And thank you, Dunyarzad, for organizing the Sub-Zero's festival for me.
I'm sorry, who are...
Dunyarzad! You're okay! Oh, don't scare us like that!
Oh, Traveler Paimon. I have something amazing to tell you. I just had a dream. I saw Nilou performing the dance of Sub-Zeros.
Aren't you? I felt like Catherine was acting weird when we met at the Sub-Zero's festival. And Dunyarzad, did you save her? It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened. Let's chat somewhere else. How about by the Traveler's favorite bench? Dunyarzad first. It's such a relief that she's all right. After we parted on the last day of the Sub-Zero's festival, I left the city and saw what the Traveler had described.
que tinha parado.
Among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. This proved my suspicion.
Cada vez mais fraco, isso confirmou minha suspeita.
Once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But this also meant it escaped the Akasha's control.
Pero Akasha, sua consciência começou a se dispensar, mas isso também significa que ela escapou do controle do Akasha.
Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. It will return to its original dream.
Por longo tempo, acabará retornando ao sonho onde ela deveria estar.
Where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear.
Aos poucos, até desaparecer completamente.
I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible. But it still wouldn't have lasted for much longer if it hadn't been for you two breaking the samsara.
So
it looks like we did manage to save Dunyarzad in the end. Not a moment too soon.
Okay.
Huh? Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying. I spend more time observing human emotions. Both are fine. Everyone reacts differently. Alright, you two must have a lot of other questions for me, right? After all, you saved my faithful believer. As your reward, I will answer any and all questions. At the Avidia forest, there was this incense that made the traveler fall unconscious and dream of a huge tree and a red sky. You also heard someone's voice, right? It said world and forget me. Yeah, so you do know. We've been wanting to ask you what that was about, and if the red sky was related to Conria. It seems like the traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul. Perhaps her last memory before she died. As you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Conria. The timings of these events do line up, so your suspicions are reasonable. A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? We thought it was from King Deshret. King Deshret? That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert dwellers still worship him. You probably just heard some of their conspiracies. Okay, so what does the message mean? I still haven't managed to decipher it. Even the Akasha isn't currently capable of doing that. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated with something that has a very dangerous aura to it.
Está contaminada com algo que possui alguma aura muito perigosa.
Many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. I've warned the academia about this many times, but people still keep falling victim to it. But I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul. That's why I've kept trying to decipher it. So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, Tainari also said that Irminsul is sick! Is it because of the contaminated consciousness? But even if you can't figure out what that vision was all about, it seems like our search for you was all in vain. The traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never seen anyone like that. With you here, we may have a chance of deciphering it. No, we must decipher its secrets. I've already eliminated all other factors that might affect Irminsul. This is the only one left. This puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine Irminsul's fate, as well as Teyvat's. To be accurate, I'm using the Akasha as a medium to occupy Catherine's consciousness. How did you do that? Poor Catherine! Does this mean you can also occupy other people's consciousness? Theoretically, I can enter anyone's mind as long as they're wearing their Akasha terminal. The Akasha is the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. As Lesser Lord Kusanali and the first Akasha terminal, my consciousness has always been linked to the Akasha. I've always respected my people's free will, so I've never actually occupied their consciousness. When necessary, I just borrow this bionic Snezhnayan puppet. Hold on. Did we just learn some deep dark secrets? So Catherine is... No. Wonder Paimon felt something was off about her. What about your own body? Why do you need to borrow other people's? Don't you live in the sanctuary of Surasthana? That story begins a long time ago. After Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared, the sages found my newly born self and took me back to Sumeru. At that time, I was young and weak. The sages kept me in the sanctuary of Surasthana, ostensibly for the sake of protecting me. But I've hardly heard from them since. However, I do understand that they had hoped to find Greater Lord Rukkhadevata instead of me, a symbol of her passing. So, the sages basically put their new Archon under house arrest? How dare they! Why don't you teach them a lesson, Nihira? In some ways, they are wrong. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was omniscient and omnipotent. Even after her death, the Akasha is still empowering this nation. And I'm still really far away from being able to call myself the God of Wisdom. Moreover, the Academia is also more proficient at governing this country. My existence has little meaning. Yeah, you got a lot of believers. Just look at the Sub-Zero's festival. Everyone who showed up truly loves you. Thank you for the kind words. But I honestly don't need physical freedom as long as I can connect my consciousness to the Akasha. Trying to find a way to save Irminsul is my life's mission and top priority. I will work on that, and try to live up to being a deity in the meantime. Every once in a while, I will also take up the duties of the God of Wisdom and enlighten a lost soul here and there. Doing all that should be enough. There's never been any big problems with the Academia's governance of Sumeru. This is the first time I've seen them step out of line. I wonder what caused them to go down this path, and what they hope to achieve. Even though the city's residents haven't noticed anything strange, if the traveler hadn't broken the Sub-Zero's samsara, the situation could have become dire. I tried to do some investigating in the Akasha, but I couldn't find anything suspicious. And all the people of interest seem to purposely avoid wearing their Akasha terminals. I think they're deliberately trying to hide something. Oh! That reminds Paimon. In Gandharvaville, there was a sage who had invited Canal to join some kind of project. Could it be related? Regardless, I need to first investigate the sage's motives, make things right, and punish them if needed. But I'll have to be discreet, or they'll see me coming. You mean how the Akasha stops you from having dreams? Yeah, it's been such a long time. No one's noticed something's up? It's not that no one noticed. It's more like no one cared. Ultimately, it's all rooted in the sage's misdirection. Misdirection? The sages convinced everyone to believe that being unable to dream is a sign of rationality and wisdom. Not dreaming is a badge of honor in Sumeru. Even if the truth is that their dreams are being leaked by the Akasha. With their propaganda in place, the sages can maximize their use of the Akasha to facilitate their research. Besides, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata must have created the Akasha in the hopes that it could be used to its full potential. That's why I've never come out strongly against this. Anyway, the perspective advocated by the sages drowned out any voices of doubt. By now, even those who never use Akasha terminals find it too shameful and embarrassing to talk about their dreams. Got it! I hope my answers were satisfactory, seekers of knowledge. To be honest, maintaining Dunarzad's fading dream took a lot of mental energy. I think I may need to rest for a while. Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the sage's activities for now. The Akasha won't be able to conduct another project on the scale of the Sub-Zero's samsara in the immediate future. Go and get some sleep. Leave everything down. What a relief.
você ter fato a
This is truly the most exhausting birthday I've ever had.
Traveler? Paimon? Why am I here? Do I...
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know you can't wake up a sleepwalker. We happened to walk by, so we thought we'd wait for you to wake up.
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime. Oh, I'm fine. I better go. Thank you.
We've spent quite some time in Sumeru City, but ever since we last said goodbye to Lesser Lord Kusanali, we haven't heard any...
Ad Astra Adasask. We meet again, you two.
Hi, Catherine. Do you have any commissions for us today?
Commissions, huh? Let me think. Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's Academic Symposium this afternoon and recite a love poem on stage.
Wait, say what now?
And if possible, please also use your camera to capture the reaction of the audience upon finishing the poem.
Huh? What kind of commission is that?
I see. It appears that you're not interested in this commission. In that case, please go to Port Ormos and convince the Eremites there to spend some time volunteering at the local orphanage.
Hey, that's not any better.
I'm sure the mercenaries will have some interesting reactions as well.
Hyman's gotta ask. Just who exactly has been submitting these commissions to the Adventurers Guild?
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you in action.
Was it so obvious? I was wondering if actually take one of those commissions. That kind of chance to observe humans doesn't come by often. So it's Nahida. I just knew Catherine wouldn't crack those kinds of jokes. When did you get into her head? So she said, Astra Adasask? So it's been you this whole time? Are you done resting up, Nahida? Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways. And I even had a really, really long dream. It was another dream about the Sub-Zerus Festival, except it was a happy one. In my dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and everyone in Sumeru City was holding hands as they danced in circles around me. They danced round and round, and everyone looked really happy. I also got to sit on a gigantic flower carriage. Fairs, the native flowers, raised me really, really high above the ground. around, and I was throwing an endless amount of Yalda candies at the children. You know, Nahida, maybe your dream is how the Sub-Zero's festival really should be. It's meant to be a joyous time where everyone gets together to celebrate your birthday. Huh? Wasn't I describing a really happy dream? Why are you both looking at me like that? Wait, could this be an example of the emotion known as pity? No, we aren't pitying you. That would only make everything worse. We just don't want you to feel too sad. By the way, have you had a chance to visit Dunyarzad? How's she doing? The Homianis haven't allowed any visitors after the festival, so we haven't been able to check on her. Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. She was resting at the time. Her condition is stabilized. However, since Elazar is a manifestation of the withering on the human body, we can only cure it by finding a way to take care of Irminsul's own withering. But for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out what the sages are up to and what they're planning. Right. Who knows what'll happen if they manage to pull off another scheme like the Samsara of the Sub-Zero's festival? So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sages' activities. As for how we should pull that off, let's discuss it somewhere else. There are too many adventurers around here. Oh, good point. Sorry, adventurers. We're gonna be borrowing Catherine for a little while. Let's continue our chat here.
Oi? Não, por quê? Nem tem arroz?
Oi?
Nem tem arroz?
Não tem arroz?
Não, eu vi agora. Mas tipo com dois.
Nossa, ninguém me faz pra falar.
Abi, eu vi agora.
Ou melhor, ninguém faz.
O Gabriel comeu nem avisou.
Dá pra falar lá.
Ah, vai.
Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate the sages, Nahida? Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. But for now, I want to hear your thoughts. I've already tried that, but all the key members of the Academia, even the core of 30 guards, intentionally avoid wearing their Akasha terminals. It seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha. Of course, it could also be because they're wary of me. Have you already caught the sage's attention? I'm guessing not yet, but distrusting me would make perfect sense if they've ever paid attention to the urban legends about me. In any case, I probably can't take over their minds directly. No way, that's too risky. You mean it'd be too easy to get caught? No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. A single mistake could completely ruin their lives. Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goals. How is that any different from what the sages are doing? That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru.
cocinados para hacer una integración.
We're in the dark as of
Nos
now.
estamos en
Since we still don't know
puro
anything
oscuro,
about their
como
goals,
sabemos
any rash
nada
move could tip them
sobre
off
sus
and lead to
objetivos.
terrible
Cualquier oración
consequences.
precisa precipitar podría arriesgaros le va a consecuencias terribles.
After all,
Hablan
every person in Sumeru City is one of their hostages.
This is heavy. I wasn't mentioning my dad.
Are we really out of ideas?
Others in there.
Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have something in mind, right? Don't keep us in suspense. Spill the beans already.
No, vamos lá, não tem que fazer suas férias com fazer coisas.
According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a plan. Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us take your ideas seriously. Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordinary people involved, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages. You're saying we should recruit a spy? That does sound like it could work. Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Al-Haytham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind the Academia's back. They probably aren't in cahoots. Actually, I already have someone in mind. Do you still remember that female scholar named Setaria? Setaria. Paimon remembers now. Isn't she the one who's always trailing behind the Grand Sage of the Academia? We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. You could even say we're old enemies by now. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always spoke to Nilu. I've always liked observing all kinds of people, and Setaria has always stood out from the crowd. She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the academia, and also gave her the opportunity to serve as the sage's assistant. Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working as mercenaries. The name Setaria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star in Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky to complement the sun's dazzling light. Soon after, the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which brought forth many disasters. The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes. From the sound of it, Setaria's just hung up on the research opportunities here. But she doesn't really support the academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right? She's just running away from her problems. Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears and go with the flow until the problem can't be fixed anymore. She's suppressing a lot of guilt, but before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. She can't deny her part in their schemes anymore. Right. We must somehow make her face her problems again. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it as an opportunity to redeem herself. From my past observations, Setaria will take a day off from the academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the city. Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. That'll be our chance. To prepare, let's go check out some of her favorite spots and have a quick chat with a few of the vendors there. This should be Sataria's favorite fortune-telling spot. So should we ask the fortune teller about Sataria? No, I already have enough information on Sataria. The most important thing now is for you to pay attention to the vendor's talking style and key characteristics. Talking style and key characteristics?
My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over your fates? The divine voice of wisdom often echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I may be able to show you the way.
Huh? Really? Rita, you've been whispering things to her?
Shh! My friend here has some doubts regarding her future. Can we get a fortune reading for her?
Of course, of course. In that case... It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you. Perhaps, at some time in the past, you have somehow offended the gods.
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Health prospects. No problem at all. The gods have spoken. The truth shall be revealed. Your life shall continue on for many tens of thousands of years. Impossible. Harut, Marut, did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
Actually, my mom thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune-telling you've ever done.
I admit that the orientation of today's celestial matrix is suboptimal. As such, there will be no charge.
Is that so? Well, that can't be helped.
If you were to bring some food offerings for Hart and Mart on your next visit, perhaps they could help you reverse the wheels of fate.
Kalau misalnya naik,